Okay. Last question on the paper. It's a star question, so they're looking for your explanations as well as your calculations, as well as your answers. Anglers is a headline from a newspaper or a magazine or newsletter. Anglers dismayed at falling fish numbers. Scientist wants to estimate the number of fish in a lake, so he catches 50 of them, marks them with a die. The fish are then returned to the lake. The next day, the scientist catches another 50. 4 of those fish are marked with die. Work out an estimate for the total number of fish in the lake. Well, when he caught them, after he'd caught them and died them, when he caught them, assuming it's a random sample, assuming it was all mixed up, and none of the dye had washed off, then 4 out of 50 of the population had dye. Of the total population, 4/50, or 8%. Okay? But we know the proportion of the ones that out of everyone in the lake, when they were caught, only 4 of them came out with dye, so that means there's 8% of the lake had dye in it. Well, that 8% represented 50 fish, because the scientist had put 50 fish with dye in it in the first place. But we know that's 8% if our sample represents the whole population. So 8% equals 50 fish. So, well, we can go down to 1% or whatever we want to do. We need to get up to 100% somehow to work out how much in total. So I'm going to go down to 1%, which is 50 divided by 8, which is 50 divided by 8. Oops, 50 divided by 8. So it's 6.25. So from here to here, divided by 8. Now to get from here to here, back up to 100%, I'm going to do 6.25 multiplied by 100, which is 625. So I times by 100. So we think the whole population is really 625 fish. That's because the ones with dye represented 8%. So we worked out what the 100% was, or everything was, and it was 625. Now we must write down any assumptions. Well, the assumptions we've actually made a couple of assumptions, but you only need to write down one of them really. So assumptions we've made: number 1, that none of the dye washed off, because he could potentially have caught the same 50 fish, and actually 46 of them, the dye just came off in the water. So none of the dye washed off. We assume that. We've also assumed that the fish with dye mixed randomly with the others. So the ones when he first caught them on the first day, the ones he put dye on, we're assuming that when he went back in they all mixed up normally. And there's one more thing we've kind of considered. We assume the total population hasn't changed. The total population did not change overnight. Is it overnight? Yeah, did not change overnight. Now that means that no fish were born, or no fish died just naturally of old age or whatever it is, or being caught by a bigger predator. So we assumed that the total population didn't change. It was the same from one day to the next. So there are a couple of assumptions.